I wake to 3 pings I didn't earn. Your trip has ended. Leave a review for your host. Damage claim submitted, $1,120. My phone screen glows 6:11 a.m., the hour when most lies still sleep. I wasn't on any trip. The Airbnb app opens to a place I've never seen in person. A craftsman bungalow in Laurelhurst with a swing on the porch and a rug I would have picked in another life. Check-in last Friday, check-out last night. 2 guests. Then the guest count blurs and becomes 6 in the host's message. We counted extra people on the porch-cam Friday and Saturday. Please advise there's a photo, time-stamped, a line of familiar silhouettes hauling cases of cheap beer across someone else's threshold. The first one, chin up, ball cap, belongs to my cousin. The second, the one with her phone held high like a torch, is my mother. My jaw clicks. I scroll. A review waits to be written, at the top of which my name sits like evidence. A Santos. The host's review of me has already landed. It's polite the way a cease and desist is polite. Guest did not respect agreed headcount. Communication difficult. Would not host again. 1 star. My profile, my guest history I've used for work trips and weekend escapes, now looks like a warning label. My bank app is worse. A pre-auth at check-in. The final charge last night. A second hold for the security deposit the host is now trying to keep. All card ending in 7731, mine. Their code for family discount is, what's your password again? I text the family thread. Did anyone use my Airbnb account? 3 dots. They vanish. Silence expands like foam. Then Mom. We had a little emergency this weekend. Your Tita Linda's water heater broke and the house was chaos. Your cousin Drea found a cute place nearby, and the thing wouldn't let us book without a profile, so we just used yours. You're so good with these apps. We couldn't reach you. You sleep like the dead. Their code for we decided yes for you. I type, delete. My fingers want to write law. My chest wants to write fire. I settle for fact. That's identity theft. Also, who left a 1-star review under my name? Mom sends a crying laugh emoji, a digital shrug. It wasn't 1 star. Your Tita thought she was doing 3. The slider thing is confusing. Anyway, the host was crabby. The house had rules like a convent. We fixed their vibe with some music. In the host's resolution center thread, there's footage, a porch cam, legal, pointed at the walkway. It shows the moment the vibe arrived, 6 of them, bags and boxed cupcakes and the kind of laughter that says, we didn't pay enough to care. I recognize the choreography. Mom pointing, Drea performing, my Tita sending orders with elbows, the way women in my family have made parties happen on other people's backs since 1989. I have carried trays heavier than my own temper. I call Airbnb support. I verify in 3 languages that I am me. I say the words, unauthorized booking and compromised account. The agent is calm and kind, the voice people use when boats list and everyone's pretending to be a sailor. She locks the account for investigation, flags the review, says words like, we'll escalate. I screenshot everything. I know how paper saves you when rooms won't. At 8:03, Mom calls. I let it go to voicemail. Her message braids apology and agenda. Don't be dramatic. We'll settle later. Family helps family later. Their code for never. I sit at my kitchen table with my hands around a mug that's gone cold and inventory what I own. A profile with a 1 star that isn't mine, a credit card that's very much mine, an inbox full of strangers seeing me as a problem, a family who treats my adulthood like a communal utensil. And something else, anger that isn't wild. It's measured, like a level that finally read true. I open my laptop. 2 tabs, Resolution Center and Password Manager. I turn on 2-factor everywhere. I remove payment methods like splinters. I file a fraud report with my bank, my calm voice boring through the menus. Then I text my cousin Drea direct. I need the names of everyone who stayed. I need the times you arrived and left. I need who left the review. You have 1 hour. She replies with a meme. Then, when I send a screenshot of the porch cam still, names spill like marbles. I copy them into a document titled Receipts. I add the host's timestamps. I add the charge amounts, the review, the damage claim for a wine-soaked runner and a dent in a bedroom door. I pause and let the part of me that's always reaching for a rag sit on its hands. Then I text my best friend Kai. Are you home? Always. Door code you chose is still in your fingers. I need a couch and someone to say, you're not crazy. Bring your laptop. And that boiled citrus cleaning spray you made. My oven looks like a crime. I pack the spray, the laptop, a stack of printer paper, and the key ring that's lighter than it should be. No one else's house on it but mine. On the way out, I pass the small framed photo on my shelf of the first guests in my Airbnb. The mother and son who left the thank you note in looped third-grade cursive. Miss A, your place smells like oranges and sleep. I remember the unsexy craft of hosting. The way vinegar eats streaks on glass, how to fold a fitted sheet so it holds its own hem, how to handwrite rules as invitations instead of traps. Craft is respect. Theft is not. In the elevator, the world smells like old metal and lemons. I hold my keys. They feel like the right weight for the first time in months. Kai's place is the color of plants and patience. He opens the door in a t-shirt that says, "Pay the artists," and hands me coffee like he knew. He doesn't go hunting for the story with the kind of curiosity that leaves teeth marks. He clears a space at the table and says, "Sit. Build." We build. Password manager. Unique logins. Two-factor everywhere, including Mom's email, which I realize I always helped in case she forgets. I revoke my devices from her phone like amputation. We freeze my credit. We call the bank again and move a human to note my file in handwriting. Fraud that looks like family. I write a script for future calls because adrenaline forgets words. Unauthorized use by relatives, card ending 7731, dispute all charges associated with Airbnb booking ID 9PJ6-. I practice it until my jaw stops stuttering. Then we open a third tab. Video editor. The host, bless her fixed porch cam and the laws that permit it, sent me the clips for the claim. Exterior only, no interior. It's all the proof a person with eyes needs. Kai helps me cut a tight 3 minutes. Arrival Friday. Double wave to the camera I recognize from childhood photos. Tita never met a lens she didn't wave at. The case of beer. The sixth person. The Uber that shows at 1:13 a.m. with a seventh face, I don't know. We blur the license plates, not for them, but for us. We mute the sound and lay a quiet track. The hum you hear when the truth arrives and doesn't clear its throat. We overlay timestamps and captions that don't editorialize. Booking confirmation shows 2 guests. Porch cam records 6. Review submitted by A. Santos at 9:02 p.m. Sunday. I did not write this. Where are you posting? Kai asks. Resolution Center and the family thread, I say. And then my own account, if the gossip outruns the receipts. People with nothing to hide don't mind light, he says, and hits export. We eat tuna on toast like grad students, laptops propped on cloth placemats his Lola embroidered, and rewrite my family's favorite script. Every ring of my phone is a chance to return to the old show. I press decline unless it's my bank or Airbnb. It feels like leaving a party before dessert because you finally recognized the cake was bait. At noon, a voicemail from Mom lands. How dare you escalate? Their code for you made the truth visible where our story can't smother it. I move it into a folder labeled Noise. I drag the files from Noise into Evidence. It's a practice now, the way folding sheets used to be. At 2, Airbnb calls back. A supervisor with a voice like oak. We see your case. We're removing the review from your guest profile pending resolution. We've locked the account until you confirm new security settings. The host's damage claim is under review. I hear the word pending and think about the 700 ways families pronounce it as later. I push my chair back and breathe. Pending is a step. Steps are how you leave a room. When the video is ready, I drop it in the resolution center with a simple note. Unauthorized booking by relatives who accessed my account and card. I didn't write the review. Here are the porch-cam timestamps the host provided, facts first. Feelings later. Then I post the clip in the family thread with a caption longer than they like. Here is what happened. Here is who carried what. Here is the review under my name. This is not how we treat each other. From now on, no one uses my accounts. No one uses my cards. If you need help, you ask before, not after. I will not be the card on file for the family anymore. Auntie Miri posts a prayer hands emoji like she's blessing a wound she made. My cousin posts a defense that wears a nice dress. We were going to pay you back. My mother types, "You're so ungrateful." Then another message lands like a brick through glass. Family is not receipts. Family is exactly receipts, Kai says, reading over my shoulder. Receipts are love in writing. He drags my receipts document into a shared folder called Terms. We print the timeline. Date, time, action, who, amount. He hands me the stack. Paper has mass, he says. You can put it on a table and it stays. At 4, Dr. Reyes, my therapist with sensible shoes and questions that feel like measuring tape, texts back with a cancellation opening. Today at 6, if you want it, it's yours, I go. I start with the live stream of my own family stealing from me and work my way to the smaller thefts that trained my mouth to say, it's fine. Birthday dinners where my seat was the kitchen. Vacation plans where my passport was a printer. The old code. You're the reliable one. Their code for we can stand on you until you stop being ground. Dr. Reyes says the words that need to land like bolts through a stud. Being capable does not obligate you. Love without respect is possession. She helps me write scripts and instructs my nervous system on how to carry them through a doorway. No, that doesn't work for me. Ask me, don't use me. She makes me say them in her office until they feel like I bought them. When I leave, the sky looks honest. It does not promise a thing. Steam from a street grate turns into a ribbon that disappears. My phone buzzes like a wasp. How could you do this to us? We're family. Delete that video. You ruined Drea's chances of ever booking there again. And then, from an unknown number, I'm the host. Thank you for your clarity. Airbnb's credited you back the stay and removed the review. We'll seek damages from the actual guest. If you need a letter for your bank, say the word. I screenshot, tag it proof, and walk to Kai's with a bag of oranges for his oven. We make tea. We put lemons in a pot and let the apartment belong to a smell I can trust. I hold my keys and feel the weight of what I won't carry anymore. I rebuild the way I host, systematically, with kindness and a checklist. Passwords, unique, like fingerprints. 2-factor that doesn't share a phone with my mother's pharmacy account. A password manager that nags me the way Auntie does, but with better results. I enroll in transaction alerts that text me the minute 7731 twitches. Bank, new card overnighted. The old one cut and photographed on the proof page of my binder like a trophy I don't need over the fireplace. Fraud credits pending then posted. I move my savings to a credit union whose teller knows my middle name without asking for ID because she recognizes my handwriting. Paper has a smell. It comforts me. Airbnb, my guest profile restored to the star it actually earned. My host listing, yes, I host too, taught by Lemons and Linen, gets a spring overhaul. I reshoot my photos in the soft blue light my space deserves. I rewrite the house manual with sentences that sound like boundaries and friendly clothes. We ask you to be the kind of person this place remembers fondly. I install a doorbell cam outside, legal, disclosed, pointed at the walkway, with a field of view that feels like caution, not paranoia. I hire a co-host for the weeks I need to be off the clock, because delegation is a love letter to your own spine. Craft motif returns like an old friend I didn't know I missed. I buy a better steamer, the one that eats wrinkles the way the truth eats rumors when you finally feed it. I mend the throw that caught on someone's watch, invisibly, like a kindness that doesn't require applause. I glue felt pads to the legs of the dining chairs so the floor doesn't remember feasts with scars. Linen in the dryer with 3 ice cubes on low. Wrinkles release. Fabric forgives. I add a laminated card to the checkout list. Leave keys on the hook. Leave the space like a story you're proud to be in. It's corny. It works. People like to be invited into decency. Found family takes shape at my table. Kai plugs in my new router and names the network, not your card. Nor, my neighbor who teaches middle school and bakes when the world misbehaves, brings bread that snaps where it should. Jewel, who makes videos for nonprofits and has strong opinions about captions, helps me write a 60-second explainer with blurred faces for my public post so strangers don't decide the narrative for me. We set it to gentle piano, not because it's sad, but because the truth doesn't need symbols. Dr. Reyes gives me homework that doesn't come with stars. Practice saying no 3 times this week. Practice not defending it. I start small. No, I can't drive to pick up the cake. No, I won't lend my login. No, I'm not available to be your emergency. The heavens do not part. The group chat finds another mule. I survive. Mom enlists flying monkeys, Tita Linda, Uncle Ben, to call and ask if I'm okay. I say, I'm not discussing this outside therapy and email. If you need me, I'm here for non-money, non-login things. They stutter, some hang up, some decide they like me less. I decide I like me more. The video goes modestly viral in the way truth sometimes does. 300 shares on my close friends circle. Dozens of DMs like candles on a cake. People I haven't spoken to since high school send same. Cousin used my points and I found out at the gate. And my aunt used my streaming logins to change my profile to Mooch. And, thank you for posting. I thought I was the only one who felt crazy. I post a follow-up. Boundaries aren't betrayal. They're invitations to do better. Airbnb closes the case. The review under my name is gone. The charge is reversed. The host gets to pursue damages with the actual party. Accountability is not punishment. It's repair with an invoice. At my listing, I meet a guest at the door because she asked for a local bakery recommendation and I like the baker. She is nervous, the kind who wipes hands on jeans and says sorry for existing. She notices the lemon smell and the throw I mended and says, I've never stayed anywhere that felt like someone who cared lived here. I tell her because it matters. Someone does. She looks like she might cry. I hand her the keys. Keys have weight. They make people stand up straighter. On Friday, I go to a hardware store because the latch on the bedroom door at my place has been sticky since winter, and I believe people should not have to fight a latch at midnight. The man in the aisle tells me the wrong aisle number like he was born funning. I find the right latch. I install it myself because my hands know they can. I add the old latch to my proof box not because I'm a hoarder, but because sometimes you have to hold what you fix to remember you can. Kai and I start a little checklist printer on thermal paper for friends who ask, not because we are entrepreneurs, but because the world is full of small crafts that save people from themselves. It says, before you ask for a favor, check. Did I ask ahead of time? Do I have a plan to pay? Can I live with a no? People stick it on fridges. It makes my chest feel less lonely. I go to therapy. I go to bed at 10. I say no often enough that it starts to sound like yes to the life I'm building. They schedule a family meeting at my tita's house, which always smells like last Sunday and next Christmas. There's a long table and a plastic runner that looks like lace and feels like raincoat. The reserved for family sign goes in the middle like a crown. I arrive with my binder and leave my hunger at home. Mom sits at the head in a blouse I bought her last Mother's Day, which I try not to use as a narrative weapon. Drea scrolls her phone so she won't make eye contact with consequences. Uncle Ben has brought a legal pad as if that alone makes him right. My seat is at the corner, where they put people who can be leveraged. I move the chair and sit across from Mom instead. Chairs move. That's the point of chairs. We need to talk about how you humiliated this family. Mom starts, and the word humiliated wears perfume. No, I say gently. We need to talk about how you used my identity to buy a weekend and then reviewed it under my name. Tita's face crumples into the cautionary tale she keeps in her purse. We were going to pay you later. Later isn't a payment plan, I say. I take out the timeline, the porch-cam stills, the bank reversal credit, the email from the host. I don't slam them. I place them, paper to table, one by one like plates you eat truth off. Here's what happened. Here's who did what. Here's what it cost. Here's what we do now. Uncle Ben clears his throat like a trumpet. Family doesn't need receipts. Family especially needs receipts, I say, because love makes memory soft. Paper is hard. We need both. Mom does the thing with her eyes where she hopes to turn me back into the kid who ran sound at school plays and never asked for gas money. You're being dramatic. I'm being specific, I say. Specific isn't dramatic. It's useful. I slide the last page over. It's titled Terms and looks like a treaty because it is. No one uses my accounts or cards. If you need help, you ask. You accept my answer. No announcements or reviews under my name. No booking anything with my identity. Ever. If you do, I go to the platform and the bank. Immediately. All money asks go to email, not text. No surprise bills. If family means everyone but me at the table, I leave. I slide a second page. Repair. Drea refunds the Airbnb stay to me by Friday, in full. Mom posts an apology in the family thread acknowledging what happened, that the review was not mine, and that the video evidence is accurate. We do 3 sessions of family therapy with Dr. Reyes. If you show up to 3, I show up to 3. We use Vanessa, our accountant cousin, to mediate money asks going forward. Drea opens her mouth, closes it. I don't have that kind of money. You had it for a bungalow, I say. You'll pay me in installments with dates and amounts. Vanessa will collect. I'm not a bank. I'm a person. Mom's voice softens and weaponizes. You're making this so cold. I'm making this clear, I say. The room tries on silence for once. It fits. Uncle Ben looks relieved. He's always wanted someone else to hold the rules so he could keep liking people. Seems fair, he says, and Mom glares at him like he betrayed her to reason. We'll do it, Mom says finally, like she chose Grace from a catalog. She doesn't apologize. She doesn't cry. She doesn't pretend this is anything but capitulation. That's fine. Apologies can arrive later, wrapped in behavior. I don't expect a group hug. I expect a check. I stand. I'll see you at therapy on Tuesday, I say, and I'll stay for an hour at Tita's birthday. Not to run the slideshow, to eat pancit and leave at 9. On my way to the door, Drea catches my arm. She's 27 and learning consequences late because we taught her physics wrong. I'm sorry, she says, half a swallow. I thought it wasn't a big deal because it's you. Their code for you're a floor, We forgot your skin. It is a big deal, I say, soft. But it doesn't have to be a life sentence. Pay me back. Post a note that says the review wasn't mine. Don't do it again. She nods, then nods again like the first one wasn't enough. On Tuesday, Mom shows up to doctor. Rhea's in a cardigan that says, reasonable person, and she surprises me by being one. She talks about how her own mother never asked, just demanded, how money was a river no one mapped, how using my accounts felt like love disguised as care. Dr. Reyes looks at me like, you hearing this? I nod. We practice sentences with periods for all of us. I will ask. I will answer. I accept your no. We are clumsy. We are, to my shock, trying. Friday, Vanessa texts that Drea made her first payment on time with the memo line, for the bungalow I didn't earn. It makes me laugh in my kitchen, where lemon hangs in the air like a decision you can keep smelling tomorrow. I post a final clip, not of the porch cam, not of anyone's apology, of my own front door, the new latch, the key in my hand. The caption reads, repair looks like this. It gets fewer likes. It makes me feel more human. A month later, I host a couple on their 30th anniversary. They leave the folded note on the table that says, thank you for trusting us with your space. We felt like grown-ups here. I put it in proof. Not because I need proof anymore, but because I like archives. At Christmas, Mom hands me a small box. Inside is a key that isn't to her house. It's to a safe deposit box. The card says, your name, your accounts, your boundaries. We're proud. We'll be better. It's not an award. It's a receipt. On New Year's Eve, I sit on Kai's couch with friends who ask before they assume and say thank you without wanting a plaque. We watch a dumb movie. We make a playlist that's mostly women who got tired of being quiet. At midnight, I hold my keys and say out loud to no one and everyone, not a floor. The video I posted stays up. The comments slow. The gossip dries like a spill you finally put a towel on. The bank doesn't call me at 6:11 a.m. anymore. The only pings I get that early are from the bakery when the Panda Sal comes out. I go buy a bag and hand half to Kai, who says, you can taste when people measured right. He's right. You can. Boundaries are measurements. They make sweetness possible. I lock my door. The latch slides like a sentence that ends exactly where it should.